Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to today's webinar. The topic for today is end of manual work, and we'll see how low-code automation can transform document processing in M365. My name is Clavin. I'm a Microsoft Business Applications MVP. I'm also a solution consultant at Nutrient. At Nutrient, we deliver building blocks to accelerate digital transformation of modern businesses. We can provide you with an SDK, cloud-based processing tools, low-code solutions that integrate with M365 and Salesforce. We also have our own workflow platforms. I'm so very excited to show you some of these tools today. And we'll also discuss how automation can transform document processing. That being said, the first thing I want to show you is the agenda for today. First and foremost, we'll look at the document processing crisis. Secondly, we'll see how low-code automation can help you with automating business use cases without writing any code. Then we'll talk about document AI. We'll also talk how AI plus low-code can get you an ecosystem for smarter document management. We'll also look at tools that Microsoft provides, such as Syntax, Copilot, and also talk a bit about hyper-automation. Finally, I will end it with many demonstrations. So first and foremost, I will touch on a very important topic. The topic is document processing crisis. Document processing crisis is directly proportional to the invisible cost of manual work. It leads to time drain, productivity loss, missed opportunities for innovation. Your employees might also get burnt out. Finally, there is a big risk of non-compliance. Let's take a scenario. Your employees spend hours and hours by doing routine, manual, or so-called boring jobs. What does it lead to? It leads to productivity loss. That means you're losing productivity in your company by doing processes which do not give you return of investment. That leads to employee burnout. It might also lead talented people to leave the company searching for more meaningful work. That is directly proportional to the risk of non-compliance. When you do repetitive tasks, boring tasks, you might have human errors, right? And understand this. It's very difficult to go ahead and audit manual work. If you go ahead and start auditing manual work, it will cost you even more. And finally, if you don't audit it, it might lead to penalties and fines. Now, all of this will lead to missed innovation opportunities. A talented person can contribute to more innovative opportunities for your business. Manual systems rarely capture these things because people are busy by doing manual work. There's a statistics that is on the screen. On an average, an employee will waste more than 21 days by doing repetitive tasks of work. That means boring tasks of work. This webinar is focusing on reducing the boring tasks and getting it automated. So now that you understand how document crisis can impact your business, what's the solution for it? Can you go ahead and hire developers? Can you train business users to write code? 90% of the people who do manual work will not write code. They are business users. They understand business better. They understand your documents better. If you give them a tool that can help them increase productivity, they can be trained easy enough. And there comes in the rise of low-code solutions. Low-code solutions helps your business users build automated workflows and apps by just having the drag and drop interface. You might have to train them a little bit about conditional logic and triggers. We'll cover them in a demonstration. The best thing about low-code tools is that they have pre-built integrations. These integrations are basically connectors that can pull data from various data sources. And the icing on the cake is many of the business processes are already automated. That means there are templates that you can use. So without wasting any further time, let's get into a quick demo and look at a low-code tool provided by Microsoft. So most of the people out here will be familiar with the data source such as SharePoint. SharePoint holds your data. That means it holds your documents. Now I'll go through an interesting use case out here. The use case is pretty simple. You have got credit card application, limit application, and this has got PII information. PII information such as credit card numbers. You don't want them to be visible. You go ahead and ask your accountant to redact all of this information from this particular document. Now, in this particular use case, you have got around 5. But let's think that you have let's consider that you have got thousands of documents here. They have to download the document, use a desktop application, redact it, and re-upload it. Now, first time, it might be okay. They do the right work. But as soon as they go above 100, okay, he's a superhuman or she's a superhuman, they are fully concentrated, but at around 200, they will be just thinking, what am I doing in life? Am I here to just redact information? That's what my job pays me for. In fact, if you're paying the accountant to do that, that's not good. So let me quickly show you how it can be automated. One of the tools is Power Automate. The Power Automate in the cloud helps you automate business processes. It has a lot of connectors. It can connect to a lot of data sources. If you see the number of connectors out here, in addition to that, there are also templates. What are templates? Templates provide you pre-built automation solutions which have been built by other community members, by Microsoft, or individual contributors. You can download these templates and use it in your business processes. So there are a lot of templates that you can go ahead and use. To make this a little bit interesting, let me put on a timer, right? We understand the business case. If it's not clear, I'll repeat. You have files, you need to redact information from it and store it in a different folder in SharePoint. How much time do you think this process will take if you're doing it manually? To make it interesting, I am going to use a 5-minute timer out here. Okay, I'll minimize this timer. The timer has already started. So let's build a flow within 5 minutes. So I'm going to create an instant flow. I'm going to create a manual trigger. And what I need to do first, where are my files stored? My files are stored in SharePoint. So I'll search for a connector that will help me get the files from SharePoint. If you look out here, we can use the SharePoint connector. What do I need to do? I need to get a list of files. So I will search for an action that can get me files. So the timer is ticking. That's why I'm getting a little bit stressed, but don't worry, we should finish it before 5 minutes. So here it is. So get files. So I'll do a Control F. I'll say get files, right? I wasted a lot of time, to be very honest, to search for an action. Then I'll give it the data source, that is ESPC, webinar ESPC, and it should be in redaction demo. Now that I have the files, I need to go ahead and search for a solution that can help me redact information from documents, and that can be found in Nutrient. Now, what I'm going to show you is a preview feature that we have released. The feature is known as redact PDFs with, no, that's not the one. So the action is redact PDF. What I want to redact from here, let's say I want to redact all the information, PII information, such as MAC address, maybe North American phone numbers, time, maybe URLs, zip codes, I need to give it a VIN, right? That's what I want to do. Okay, I need to give it a source file content and a source file name. From where will I get that? So first thing, I need to get the file content. So let me quickly search for file content. Right, so get file content. Here I pass in the name of my site. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it the identifier. The identifier is the output of the action get files. It adds a loop, right? That's what it is because it's a set of files. Now I want to pass in the source file name. So I'll search for the source file name. So I can just go for file name with extension, which is the output of the get file content action. And then I will use the get file content. Finally, I want to write the file back into a different folder in SharePoint. So I'll say create file. I'll pass it the site address. I'll pass it the folder path. Right? So it's redacted PDF. And I'll go for paste file name, which is the file name without extension. I'll go for the file content, which is the processed file content. I'll give it a meaningful name such as redaction demo. I'll save it. Let's look at the timer. My process is done. I still have a minute left. You have automated the entire process in under 5 minutes. In fact, I'll just quickly run it and test it. And here, my friends, within 5 minutes, I have completed my business process. And it should work as expected, right? So this is how quickly you can automate business processes using Power Automate. And that's what I call the rise of low-code platforms. Let me quickly go back. If you see our test is running, it has found the files, it has found 5 files, it will get the file content, it will redact the information, and it will create the file back. Another platform that we integrate with is Nintex. So in Nintex as well, we provide a number of actions. We'll talk about the actions in a bit, but I want to quickly show it out here. So you can search, we give you a custom connector, and here you see you can drag and drop action. I'm using a compress action out here. Similarly, we have a Zapier connector, and we also have a REST API if you are a developer. The business process has completed, right? If I go back and go to the redacted documents, and if I quickly see the output in the browser, the credit card number has been redacted. This is what, again, I'll repeat, I'll call it the rise of low code. And that's how we can help you with document automation. That being said, let me quickly expand this section and I'll just show you the actions that we provide. We provide a lot of actions. Some of them are in preview. We can give you access, but you can do a lot more out here. You can add watermarks. You can compress files. You can convert files. You can split files. You can redact files. You can go ahead and fill in forms. You can extract key value pairs and much, much more using our connector. You can also use the connector in various other RPA platforms. If you're in Power Automate Desktop, we can help you create custom actions or use a cloud connector. If you are in UiPath, send us an email. I'll help you write the integration. If you're using platforms such as K2, don't worry. We are here to assist you. And finally, if you are a developer, we can also help you with the REST API. So that being said, let's go back into the presentation. Wasn't that interesting? Now that we have looked at how low code can help you automate processes very quickly, next step would be to help you understand what are the pillars of document management. I would say they are mainly divided into 5 parts: classification, extraction, transformation, review, and save for use. First thing, the main important thing would be classification. How do you classify the documents? You can classify the documents based on tags. You can classify it based on names. If it was from history, I would just name it XYZ history, ABC-history. That would help me classify it. But now, do you think that is the best way to do it? No. The best way to do it is to automatically tag it. We'll look at it in details in some minute. Secondly, extraction. Most of the documents are basically structured. If it's structured, it's easier. If it's unstructured, it's difficult. But we can look into the document and extract information and tag it. Transformation. Most of the documents might not be in a format which can be archived or which can be saved for long term. In that case, you can transform them. There might be cases where you might have a number of documents and you want to merge it into a single document, right? In that case, you need to transform it. Review. This is where the human piece comes in. Yes, a human review is essential. But with AI coming into picture, there's something known as confidence threshold. Down the line, based on the confidence score, in fact, our connector gives you the confidence score back. Actually need a review or if you don't need a review. Finally, save to use. What does save to use means? You have processed the document, you have tagged it, etc. But now you might not need it for day-to-day routine, but you still need for compliance. In that case, you need to make sure that the documents are searchable. If you are in SharePoint, it should be searchable using SharePoint search. So it should be searchable. Secondly, there should be an audit. And thirdly, if something needs improvement, there should be a feedback loop in it. So let's quickly jump into a demo. So here I am in my Copilot out here, and I can create agents within Copilot. So here you can see that I can create a new agent or I can use templates out here. If there's something that you can use as a template, go ahead and use that. But for this particular demo, let's start from scratch. So I want to create a support agent that can help me with one of our products. To do that, I'm going to use a data source, which is going to be a PDF document. And that PDF document will help me answer questions related to support. So first thing, to create a support agent, I need to give it a name. So I'll say support assistant for document converter. I will go ahead and select an icon. So this is the icon. I'll use the nutrient icon. I'll give it a description. So let me quickly think about a description that I can use. So I can say this is a support assistant, which will help, if I can type, which will help you with problems related to the document converter product. Okay, so this is specific to this product. Now I need to go ahead and provide it instructions. So instructions are basically what drives. So instructions is specifically that drives the agent. So you need to be descriptive about your instructions. So let me put in some instructions for the agent. I can say that you are a support agent for document converter. Use the administration guide to answer few questions related to installation, configuration, related to the SharePoint converter. Always citate the section or the step number when available. Be concise and accurate. Okay, this is what we need to tell it. Now, I can provide it few more starter prompts, but we can leave it for now. And most importantly, we need to talk about documents. So we are going to talk about knowledge sources. So here you can upload a document or use a public site or use SharePoint as a knowledge source. for this particular demo, let me upload a document. So but if you see out here, I cannot upload a document unless I save it. So let me click on create. This should get my agent set up, right? And I can now click on knowledge and I can upload a document. Understand this, a document can be as big as 512 MB. So I'll just upload this document and I'll click on add, right? At this point, my agent is actually configured. Few notable things out here. If you want to go ahead and add email support to the agent, you can add an action such as Outlook. You can search for the connector, Outlook, and you can send an email with instructions as well. If you want to work with document processing, you can use the nutrient actions and also add them. For example, if you want to extract text or do something related to creating a document, like from HTML and then converting it into a PDF, you can go ahead and do that as well out here. There are a number of things that you can go ahead and do with actions. Triggers, these are mainly related to autonomous agents. Starter prompts are a way to suggest a conversation in Teams or an M365 channel, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say publish. I'm going to publish this particular agent, right? You can publish it to specific channels as well, such as Teams. Perfect. So this has been published. If you click on channels, you can publish it to, as I told you, Teams, Skype, Telegram, and so on and so on. As of now, this is just a test. Now, one most important thing to understand is this is a knowledge source. So when I click on it, it tells me that the status is in progress. So it takes time, a little bit of time based on the number of documents. That's why I just uploaded one. I should upload multiple documents to give it more information. And once you have this, it should work as expected. But we will go ahead and see something else while this is building its knowledge, right? That's what I want to tell you. Now, let me go ahead and open an agent known as SharePoint agent. So when it comes to the SharePoint agent, the agent is very similar and it helps me with answering questions related to a few documents that I have stored in the image PDF document library. So I'll go into the image PDF document library and I'll quickly open a few documents out here. So let me open this, let me open this, and let me open this particular document, right? So what I'm going to do is that let me start with the invoice document. So let's say that I had a few customers and I wanted to find details about this particular customer, right? So to do that, I can just ask it, hey, can you provide me invoice details about Jack, right? So Jack. So let's see if it can answer the question. It's thinking about it, but yes, it goes and it found out the information that I needed. So it can find me information about Jack. Now I have another invoice out here. It's about United States patents. So I'll go back again and I'll ask, give me information about United States patent and Gutterman, right? Something like this. It tells me it doesn't know the information. Okay, that's all right, I think. Let's try something else. Give me information about Joanna R, right? So give me bank details about Joanna R. Now understand this, I am just typing in random text, which should help you understand few things out here. So we looked at three particular scenarios, and if you look out here, I am getting responses, right? I'm getting responses related to Joanna. I am getting information about Jack, and I am not getting information about United Patents, right? But there is a few problems out here that I see. Okay, first thing, this is good, but maybe I don't want to show PII information. Understand that. You can use a prompt and maybe get rid of the PII information, but it's always recommended to give a reference so that there can be a human review. If you're working with PII information, even here, this is actually very bad because I'm actually sharing the credit card number. You might want to redact it. I already showed you how to redact information, right? Using Power Automate. You can build it in few minutes. Be careful about your data sources. Another scenario out here that this particular, we cannot find information related to United Patent. Why is that? This is a question comes up very often. When I open that document in my browser, so let me quickly open that document in the browser again. Say, open in browser. It tells me it is extracting text from PDF, right? What does that mean? This document is an image-based PDF. Image-based PDF doesn't work well. Okay, semantic search doesn't work well with image-based PDFs unless you OCR it. Now you have multiple ways to OCR a particular document. You can OCR it using third-party tools. You can OCR it using syntax, etc., etc. So when you try to OCR a document, you need to understand that OCRing can be a bit cumbersome if the documents are at a large scale. To get rid of that problem, I'm going to show you a tool related to document searchability. Now, what is document searchability? The document searchability is a tool that integrates with SharePoint and multiple other sources which can help you audit and OCR the documents within SharePoint and other data sources. So let's see how you can do that. So what I'm going to say, introduction, that's good. I can specify a library name. I'll say image PDF. I can say, okay, it's online. If you see, we can go into other data sources as well. You can use it for both online and on premises. I'm going to add a location out here. So let me quickly copy the location, ESPC webinar. So I'll just say, oops, I didn't copy it. So let me actually copy the location of the library. So paste it here, and I can use basic authentication, modern authentication, app-only authentication, etc. I'm going to use the web-based authentication, right? So I will say save. As soon as I hit on save, it should ask me for authentication. Let me quickly see. It already had it here, so it didn't prompt me, and it looks good. At this point, my process, my job is ready, right? Or I can say that the configuration is done. I can click on next. I can make sure that, okay, search for documents that are partially searchable. That's very important. You can use other file types such as JPEG, etc., images, etc., and make them searchable. You can also make sure to retain the creation date, modified date, created dates, etc., etc. You can set up an archive location if you want to. If you want a copy of the original file, you can set up OCR settings. So basically, the documents that are scanned are not searchable, right? And the scanning can be cumbersome or can be tricky at times. Some might contain dark borders, some might contain punch holes. So if you have dark borders, punch holes, etc., you can just get rid of them. You can select multiple languages, or you can say automatically select a language. You can run it on schedule, or you can run it manually. When the OCR process is done, you can go ahead and send an alert, and you see the job summary out here, right? I can click on create, and our new library has been added. So what I told it is, if I go here, it went ahead and enumerated the documents, and it told me, it gave me a nice little report out here, right? It tells me it has 4 image-only PDFs. It went ahead and audited my data source such as SharePoint. It said that it's partially searchable by 0%. And then it said there are 2 documents that are searchable, and there are total 26 pages, right? So you need to understand that AI could not answer questions related to 4 documents out here. because they are image-only PDFs. And it could only answer questions related to 2 documents. I can go ahead and save this audit report and I can use it later. I can just go ahead and start an OCR process on this. How do I do that? Simple. I can go into this particular job that I have. I can say audit an OCR and I can actually save it. I can go back to my dashboard and I can click on this play button. As soon as I click on play button, it will OCR it, and based on some time, you should be able to get answers from image-based PDFs as well. Isn't that something you need to consider when using AI-related tools such as Copilot? And we at Nutrient provide you with document searchability that helps you audit and OCR documents. You can also use it with other data sources such as blob storage, your local file system if you're building a local LLM, and multiple other sources if required. So that being said, let it do the trick. This is how the audit report would look like. It shows you nicely that, your 66% of the document library is not searchable. And once this is done, it will be searchable. So this was a very quick demo about AI and searchability. So now that we understand how document auditing is important, we also spoke about auditing. This is what auditing helps you with. We provide you with auditing capabilities. We make your document searchable so you don't get into any compliance related problems. Let's look at our support agent that we created. So let me quickly drag it out here and let's look at the support agent. Now, if you upload the document directly out here, as I was looking at it, this particular document is now ready, right? Now, one thing we need to understand, it allows you to use its own general information as well. So what does this mean? Now I'm going to ask it a question related to the document converter first. Hey, help me with prerequisites of installation of document converter. Okay. So I'll just say prerequires. Okay. I'll hit enter. Let's see if it goes into the knowledge source and if it goes ahead and helps me with an answer. It gives me an answer. It tells me everything is supported till Windows 2022, which SharePoint versions are supported, and so on and so on. And it also references the administration guide. Now I'm going to ask it another question. Give me details about Facebook, right? Now it tells me I'm here to assist you related to the document converter for SharePoint. If you have any questions related to installation, go ahead and ask me those, right? Because I gave it a good enough instruction out here to be concise and accurate. Only related, if you want to only use the knowledge source and the AI should not hallucinate. This is the thing about AI. Previously, when I typed, I got an answer. You should turn off the AI-based feature so that it only looks at the knowledge source, right? So this is something that I wanted to quickly show how easy it is to create an agent. But when you're using a data source such as SharePoint, you need to be sure that the files are indexable. Now, that being said, let's talk a little bit more about hyperautomation. What is hyperautomation? Hyperautomation means a product which scales and helps you automate large quantities of document. One such tool that we have is Document Automation Server. The Document Automation Server helps you automate and optimize document processing workflows. So let's quickly look at this product that we have to offer. The benefit of using this product is that your IT administrators can go ahead and create a process and then they can run it on schedule. Yeah, I have a folder with few documents out here. Now, in this case, again, there are only 4 documents, but understand this can be millions of documents. I want to OCR this document and then archive it in a PDF-A format. If you are not aware of a PDF-A format, PDF-A is used for long-term archiving. So you can read this up on Google, or you can find multiple articles. You can look at Wikipedia. So if you want your PDF to be of ISO standard, then PDF-A is the way to go. So that being said, let's set up the workflow for this. How easy it is. I'm going to create a new job. I'm going to give my job a meaningful name. I'll say OCR and PDF-A. So I need to OCR these files. So I can just use PDF to searchable file, right? And then what I want to do is I want to convert the PDF to PDF-A. So that's pretty much it. I have set up the workflow. Now all I need to do is give it an input or a source folder, and I need to give it an output folder. So let me quickly do that. And can it only do PDF-A? No, it can do much more. It can do OCR. It can merge images to searchable PDF. It can convert any file to a PDF format. It can convert PDF to Office. It can convert any file type to Office. You can split and merge documents. It also connects to various data sources. Yes, you can connect to Mailbox. You can connect to SharePoint. You can connect to Azure. You can work with barcodes. You can go ahead and have PDF operations in place. That is, add stamps, validate a PDF-A, linearize PDFs, and you can also go into the advanced option. The advanced options provide you steps such as high availability, distributed polling, smart redaction, pattern enumeration, and so on and so on. So this is a tool that scales. Now, when I say it scales up to the number of cores that you have on your server. It can go up to 32 or maximum available on your server. So it means that if you have a 32 core server, you can process 32 files at a time. Yes, you heard it right. So that being said, let me quickly run this right now. And let's look at the output. So the processing is on the way. So let's wait for a bit. So the processing has been completed. So let's look at the output folder real quick. So here in the output folder, you have the documents that are being OCR'd. And if you see, it tells you on the top that now it's a PDF-A standard compliant document. You can check the PDF-A using a step in document automation server, but you can also do the same using our Aave PDF tool, which is available on the website. So I'm going to click on PDF-A validation. I'll quickly choose a file. And I'll say launch validation, and it tells me that it is a valid PDF A to B format. Within a minute, you have set up a document automation workflow. So let's go back to the slides. We looked at M365. We saw how you can automate processes using document automation server, how you can quickly build cloud Power Automate flows. You can also integrate with multiple other workflow platforms and much, much more, right? This is why we provide you tools which help you automate tasks with few clicks. What's beyond M365? Now, we provide you with an SDK that you can use with semantic kernel. We provide you with an AI assistant. Let me quickly show you the AI assistants which can chat with your documents. And we also provide you with APIs. So our document AI assistance is known as Avalon.ai. So you can upload a document out here. Let me quickly upload a document. I will upload one document. Okay, perfect. I uploaded a random document and it seems that it is in Japanese. So what if I want to go ahead and understand this document? I can copy the text, go to Google Translate and translate it. Or even better, I can type it here. In fact, I don't even need to type it. I can directly click on summarize this document. So it tells me this is a story of can I pronounce it? Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's the story of Ishun Boshi, which follows elderly couple who are praying for a child. Interesting. Okay. So what if I want to copy some text out here and then translate it? So let me copy this part of the text, right? What is this heading all about? I can select the heading and I can click on the icon, the star icon, I'll call it, and I'll click on translate. It tells me translate to which language. I'll go for English out here. I'll quickly translate it to English. And it translates to inch high samurai. Wow. So Avalon or document AI assistant can be used in your apps or in Salesforce and much more. This is a part of the SDK. You can get started and build your own AI assistant using our product. That being said, I also want to give a shout out to a few of our other products. One of it would be the PDF editor for SharePoint. So if I go into low code, you can find the various products that we offer. We try to cover the document converter, document searchability, and automation server. We did not get a chance to look at the document editor. The document editor is really powerful. You can go ahead and annotate, redact, sign documents right within your browser. Your files will never leave your SharePoint. So from the security perspective, this is a great product. If you have any scenarios which need manual work, for example, you want a manual review after redaction, you can go ahead and use this tool. Similarly, we have a number of SDKs out here. You can use the .NET SDK with semantic kernel. Similarly, we have recently released the Document Cloud. So it is a document viewing and processing API in the cloud. It's Nutrient DWS, which stands for Document Web Services, which helps you build faster, scale smarter, and move fast infrastructure friction. So if you're planning to build something, you can always look at our Viewer API and the Processor APIs. And finally, let's go to the next slide. So what do you want to learn more about our products? We just covered the low-code side of business. There's much more. In fact, I told you we even couldn't cover the low-code, all the low-code tools that we provide. But you can read more or learn more at nutrients.io blog. About low-code is nutrient.io low-code. We have a low-code and a workflow bundle release updates coming up on May 29th. You can also opt for a free trial at nutrient.io low-code. You can contact sales for demo by going to the contact sales forms, which looks like this. I hope that this webinar was informative. You have learned a bit about document processing, about hyper automation,